Hi, my name is Gisle. I am presenting a scientific way of matching golf clubs so that you can use the same swing for all your clubs. This is the solution to a problem golf club makers have tried to solve since the beginning of golf. Let's have a look at some traditional methods of matching golf clubs. You are, of course, all familiar with the swing weight method. Swing weight was invented in the 1920s by Robert Adams as an approximation to matching by moment of inertia. The swing weight instrument is intended for adjusting the head weight when all the grips and shafts are identical in weight distribution. It does therefore not apply to modern golf clubs where shafts have different weight distribution. MOI matching matches all the clubs to have the same moment of inertia around the grip end of the club. MOIG matching matches all the clubs to have the same moment of inertia around the center of the grip. Perfectly matched clubs all have the same mass, center of gravity, and MOIG. They thereby all feel and swing exactly the same. All these methods attempt to make all the clubs feel and swing the same. But do you really want all the clubs to feel and swing the same? Rather than making all the clubs feel and swing the same, BioMatch lets the golfer apply the same consistent swing to all the clubs in the set. In other words, the golfer will apply the same torques and forces to all their clubs. By applying the same consistent swing to all your clubs, you will have one set of muscle memory rather than 13. Your dispersion and consistency in ball striking will improve dramatically, making golf an easier game to play. Let's have a look at the physics behind BioMatch. The way a golf club behaves when swung is only affected by two properties of the golf club. That is the overall mass of the club and the moment of inertia of the club around the center of the grip. The center of the grip is taken to be a point 100 mm or about 4 inches from the grip of the club. The overall mass of the club affects the acceleration of the hands, and thereby also the speed and position of the hands at any given time. The moment of inertia of the club affects the club's angular acceleration around the center of the grip. In other words, the moment of inertia of the club affects how it releases. The mass of the club affects the position of the hands at impact. The heavier the club, the further back the hands will be at impact. This gives more draw spin and a higher ball flight. The MOIG of the club affects how fast the club releases. A high MOIG will give a slower release, giving the hands more time to move before impact. Hands will thereby be further forward at impact. This gives more fade spin and a lower ball flight. Let us assume that we want the left arm and the club shaft to be in a straight line at impact. Due to ball position and club length, the hands thereby need to be further forward at impact for the longer clubs. To achieve this, the longer clubs need to be lighter or have a larger MOIG. In a typical set of golf clubs, the longer clubs tend to have a large MOIG and have a smaller mass. BioMatch will give you the optimum mass for any given length and MOIG. It is possible to calculate the mass of each club that will cause the hands to be in the correct position at impact. The BioMatch algorithm does these calculations by taking the mass, length, moment of inertia, and center of gravity of the affected body members into account. These calculations are complex. My paper on scientific matching of golf clubs explains the calculations in detail. The drawing shown here provides the length of the various body members in relation to the body height used in the calculations. The mass, length, moment of inertia, and center of gravity of the body members are calculated based on the person's height, weight, fat percentage, and gender. Fat percentage is measured with this $30 instrument. These calculations are based on a study carried out by NASA in the 1960s. 5 bodies were cut into the various body members and all the properties measured and tabulated as functions of height and weight. In addition to the properties of the golfer, we need the properties of all the golf clubs in the set. For each club, we need to know the length, mass, MOIG, and lie angle. The MOIG should preferably be measured with a pictured instrument. Otherwise, the website will estimate the MOIG based on the other inputs and a table of typical club head weights. The golfer data and the golf club data are entered into the online BioMatch algorithm. The algorithm calculates the optimum mass of each club so that the left shoulder, hands, and club head is aligned at impact. The BioMatch report is then provided, specifying the size of weight to be added to the grip end of each club. The BioMatch report specifies what size of weight goes into each club. Weights are available from 6 grams to 100 grams in steps of 2 grams. Normally, we do not use more than 60 grams for BioMatch. To install the weights, we need to make a hole in the end of the grip. The shaft access tool is used with an electric screwdriver or electric drill. You enter the tip of the tool into the vent hole in the grip. This ensures a centered, clean cut. Push the weight into the shaft and tighten the bolt with a 4 mm hex key. You may do this by hand or with an electric screwdriver or electric drill. If using an electric screwdriver, you may tighten until the motor almost stops. If using an electric drill, we suggest you set the torque on the drill to the 8th position. Typically, 10 to 20 rotations are required depending on the diameter of the shaft. Here is a video showing the installation of weights.
The shaft access tool is inserted into an electric screwdriver. Alternatively, you can use a standard hex driver or electric drill. The tip of the shaft access tool is inserted into the vent hole in the grip. A hole will be made in the grip by gently pressing the tool in while rotating. Once the hole is made, the weight can be inserted. The longer weights have a rubber centralizer to prevent rattling. Rotate the weight to get the rubber centralizer through the hole. Once the weight is pushed all the way in, it can be tightened with a 4 mm hex key. This can be done by hand using a standard hex key, or as shown here using an electric screwdriver. The weight is properly installed once you feel some resistance. The weight should not be over-tightened.
Golf Test USA in Arizona tested BioMatch with 13 test subjects at the end of 2017. Test results are positive and we are awarded their seal of excellence. Dispersion and distance improved and their handicap dropped by an average of 1.1 within 5 rounds of golf. Testing is ongoing with students at the IMG Golf Academy in Bradenton, Florida. My Golf Spy will test BioMatch this winter. Articles on BioMatch has been published in various golf magazines. My paper on scientific matching of golf clubs will be published in the International Journal of Golf Science once testing at IMG Golf Academy is completed. I did a poster presentation at the 2018 World Scientific Congress of Golf in Canada this July. Copies are available on request. Several golfers at the IMG Golf Academy are using the BioMatch system. Picture here is Brian van der Weet, an IMG golf coach. Please see what he has to say about BioMatch. Pictured here is Angelina, who won the 2017 Annika Sörenstam AJGA Invitational. She is also performing well in the professional tournaments she is invited to. She is committed to Stanford in 2019. Tony is another successful BioMatch golfer. Already as a high school freshman at IMG Golf Academy, he won the 2018 Lewis Jr. All-Star Invitational. Thank you.